Make a wish.
Hi everyone. Today we will be talking about birthdays. Why do I want to talk about birthdays? They seem kind of a generic topic. I mean, every single being in the world has a birthday. Every human, every animal has a birthday. Very few people not celebrate their birthdays. So, what is there that is needed? What more information could you want? This video is particularly for people who feel bad on their birthdays or are alone on their birthdays. Now those two are different because there are a few people who dread their birthday coming. They might be happy that they're alive and they got to live another year, but something about that day, maybe the pressure of having a fun day. Will I get enough gifts? Will I get any gifts? Will people remember it? Or if people remember it and wish me, I don't want that. Or do I want that? Or do I not want that? And a bunch of other things. A lot of anxieties, social pressure, a lot of different things basically. Can make you think that you don't want your birthday to come. You can make a lot of these things can make you dread your birthday coming. And if you're a person who's living alone, or you're living with someone but you feel alone, and you don't know what you're gonna do because you're in a new place with all your old friends and family away from you, and you're like, wow, this birthday is gonna suck because I don't have anyone to celebrate it with. This video is for you. Now, before I go into ways you can celebrate your birthday without people around, ways you can honor your birthday, let me first talk about why your birthday is important. Someone who does a really good job of explaining the importance of a birthday is Rabi Simon Jacobson at Meaningful Life Center. He has a YouTube channel, and this is an excerpt from his video.
Birthday is maybe one of the best kept secrets. Your birthday, which once a year comes around. Many of us enjoy our birthdays. I have to be honest, there are people who don't. There are people who hate their birthdays. It's usually, unfortunately, sad. If you hear someone does not like their birthday, it's usually a sign of some form of abuse in their lives. Why would they hate their birthday? Because their birthday was a day where either they were reminded of by parents who didn't want them, who hurt them. It was a time when sometimes many people will, people who've been hurt will say, my birthday was the worst day of my life because everybody made believe like I was special, but they didn't treat me that way all year round, and I was supposed to pose for pictures and get gifts, that everything should look picture perfect. But beneath the surface was not that way at all. And some people have the same attitude to holidays and generally going home. But I just mentioning it simply to qualify. I want to address those that may find their birthdays not very meaningful or very pleasant. But as I shall discuss, I think everybody, even those of us that may hate their birthdays, it's like hating yourself if you hate your birthday, to be very honest. And just because others hate you, you don't need to start hating yourself. But we'll talk more about that shortly. So a birthday is a gift. Even without birthday gifts, the birthday itself is one of the greatest assets we have. And I'll explain why. But as I said in the introduction, it's like those assets that they're not obvious. Most of us would think a birthday, okay, it's a nice day. To me, it's special. To people who love me, it's special. Once a year, everybody remembers that I'm around, hopefully. Send me gifts, birthday cards, different greetings, etc., etc. But there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Because essentially, if you think about it, a birthday is really the moment and the day that you emerged from your mother's womb into this world. Now, you could say, well, what's the big thing about that? That's just a circumstantial, whatever thing that happens. Everybody at some point emerges. But that's not the case. That's not how Judaism, and especially the mystics, see it. The fact of the matter is, if you think about it, everything begins then. The journey, your journey on this earth begins on your birthday. So is that a small matter? That's like the beginning of everything.
As the video continues, He goes into the spirituality of the Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism, and how you being born in this universe, you taking the human avatar or just like being placed on this earth, it has some sort of thing. It's like mathematically significant. It means you were born for something. You were created. Someone thought the world needed you. And even if you don't believe in spirituality, this video might be an informative watch just to understand why people don't like their birthdays, or why it is important to celebrate your birthday. With loneliness on the rise across different countries, can make it a very likely thing for people to be alone on their birthdays. A lot of mental health issues spike. A lot of suicides spike in spring and not winter. And the feeling of good days, the pressure of you having to enjoy something, can be debilitating when a lot of your life is spent in misery. Don't want this video to make you feel like you have to do something spectacular for your birthday, something over the top. And keeping all these different things in mind, I've compiled a list of 10 things you can do that might suit your needs, and pick whatever feels right to you. Go ahead on a journey with ChatGPT or Google web search to find something that truly speaks to you as a person. And let this video be like the beginning, like just scratching the surface of all that. And so let's get into the video. So I have my notebook now, and 10 ways to celebrate your birthday by yourself. It could also be for people who do have friends and family but want to spend their birthday in quiet introspection and reflection of everything that happened, having time to themselves, maybe time away from your children if you're a mother, a husband or a wife or any of that. The very first one is create a piece of art. So for my 21st birthday, I replicated a painting by Salvatore Dali. Creating a piece of art is special, and it can be as simple as you want, or you can make it as grandiose as you want. If you're into that, do that. So you always have a memory of looking back at an art piece and being transported back to when you were 12, when you were 32, when you were 47, when you were 87. Creating a piece of art. The next one is enroll in a new class or sign up for a new experience. So if you want to enroll in a pottery class, you want to enroll in a neon painting workshop, you want to go to a pole dancing class, you want to do body painting, you want to jump off the cliff with gear to make sure you land properly, do it. Anything that you think is too extreme, strange, not your thing, do it, to try it out and feel that feeling of I did something new. Next one is cook something you wouldn't otherwise. You know, I used to like cooking a lot when I was a teenager, and I would cook a lot of extravagant dishes. And once I left home and I started living by myself, I had to cook for myself every day, and cooking became monotonous. It became a chore. It wasn't something I looked forward to. We lose our passions once we get busy with other things. You might have been a big chef back in the day. You might have been a big painter back in the day. You might have been a big skater back in the day. And as life took its momentum, you got busy with other things. You had to prioritize family, friendships, children, whatever. Your passions or whatever you felt relaxed while doing got put on the back burner. And you just didn't have time for it to actually delve into it and enjoy it. Let your birthday be a day when you can fully go into that activity. You know, if you want to make your own sourdough bread, if you want to make your own pizza, then you can buy a pizza stone and go all technical and make a fancy Neapolitan style pizza with fancy tomatoes. If you live away from your family if you live in a different country from where you were born, then cook a dish that was like the family meal. Try to replicate that. So even if you're away from them, you can taste that family feeling. If you are in a different country from where you were born, if you visited a country for a long time but haven't been able to go back, then try replicating their food. As you must know, cooking is a way to transport yourself to a feeling, to a place. You can make an egg omelette the same way your dad made in most places of the world. You can cook yourself strawberry banana oatmeal from some restaurant you had in whichever place while you were traveling. Try to dig through your memories and see if there's a dish that you really wanted to try, that you've been really meaning to try but you can't find, and try making it. It's simple. Or even if it's not simple, because you need to believe in yourself to cook difficult dishes and exotic dishes from different cultures. And if it's bad, then your birthday is going to be ruined. The next point is pretty straightforward, but its value is understated. So, buy a gift for yourself. Buy yourself flowers. How simple. Of course, it would be in here. But, a lot of people would not think about buying themselves these things because they don't think things like hand creams, a nice candle, fresh flowers from the grocery store, they're all like things that they really want. Like, I'll just get my toothpaste. I'll get my Dove body wash. Whatever. Even if you think these things are nonsense, just try to buy yourself something small, something big, new shoes, new jacket, new guitar, but especially flowers or a plant. Because I talked to this lady and she said fresh flowers are really nice. And I was like, really, are fresh flowers really nice? And they were really nice. If you've never gotten yourself flowers, if you've never had a nice flower vase with fresh flowers sitting in your living room, then try it out on your birthday and thank me later. Next one. Write a letter to your future self. So I think for my 22nd birthday, I wrote my 23-year-old self an email. And oh boy, was it funny to read that letter when I turned 23, because so many things I talked about, so many things I was annoyed about in the moment just did not exist anymore, and my life was completely different. And all the wishes my 22-year-old child self was giving the mature adult version of me were just so endearing. We all look at those videos of people who took a selfie every day and were like, interesting, should I do it? So take this birthday as a way to record yourself, document your feelings, how mature you were, what vocabulary you were using, what were your biggest troubles at the time. And maybe when you turn 50, you'll have a record of the last 10 years of your life sent through birthday messages to your future self. And then one day you're gonna die before your next birthday, and your previous self's email would never be read. Maybe it would be read by your wife, or your children, or your parents if you die in a car crash because you got in a car and your friends were drunk and they decided to speed and then all of them got decapitated. Yeah. Record yourself. Next one. Now, just as the previous one was simple, this is the opposite of that. This is hold a ritual. You're like, what a ritual? What ritualistic? What? Like, a ritual, we can go into a formal definition, people can get religious in the comments, but a ritual is like something you do, and you can make it as funky as you want. You can like go to the forest, you can go to the local park, and you can throw like 5 leaves in a circle and then walk around them 3 times and then light a bonfire. Or you could like light candles around you and sit in the center and meditate on what you want to be, or like draw a pentagram or something. Go on a 10-mile run, whatever your thing is. If you're a movie nerd, watch like, if you're a Harry, if you're a Potterhead, Potterhead, all the Potterheads. If you just want to watch every Harry Potter film movie in a row, then do it. Don't get out of your bed. Don't even open the curtains. Just do it with popcorn and soda on the side. Like, that's fine. That's fun. If you want, like, Harry Potter, it's fun. Do that. Anything you want. You want to read books all day, do that. Do something. It feels like all of this is aimed at people who are able to take a day off from their work or don't have work or school or any other requirements that they have to do. So, in your free time after your birthday, whatever you get to do, whatever time you get, go ham with it. Get greedy. Do something crazy. Do a ritual. Whatever that ritual is. Do it. Clean your house. That might be a ritual. Next one is simple, and it's related to a ritual, but it's more on the normal side, I guess. This is have a fun day. Now, you're like, what's a fun day? I don't know what a fun day is. Well, just have a day you wouldn't normally have, and then by the end of the day, you'll find out if it was fun or not, and then you can choose whether you want to do things like that again. And some recommendations for a fun day might be going to the movie theater. Now, some people might think going to the movie theater alone is kind of depressing, but it's actually not. Like, if you go with someone, like, you're watching the film and you're like constantly going to be looking over what their reaction is, that's kind of cringe. Like, going with your partner and you're making out in the back of the cinema, okay, cool, but that means that movie is probably really boring, so that's money down the drain. So, go to the movies alone, get a bowl of popcorn or nachos, or sneak some food into the theater and watch a movie by yourself, and there's nothing wrong in it, and it's actually might be more fun because you can just stew in your own thoughts after the movie's over and then make a YouTube video about it the next day. You can plan to have lunch with yourself in a nice restaurant, your favorite restaurant. You can go to a trampoline park if you're too shy to jump in front of other people. If you're too shy to get excited, to giggle, to like let out an unscripted laugh, then do whatever. And the next one is go to a museum. Museums can suck or be really fun. Or if you're not into art museums, you can go to a science museum and just marvel at all the advances human race has made. You can go to a dinosaur museum, you can go to a chocolate museum, you can go to the ice cream museum, so many museums. And if you're a history nerd, if you like culture and you never really found out much about the local culture of your city, then you can take your birthday to have a day out and learn about the local history through museums, old houses, historical landmarks, and so on. Next one is a bit more introspection-y. This one is reflect and find wins from last year. When we graduate from school, college, get a job, it all happens quickly. And if you don't have people around you to appreciate you, you can just feel like you're jostling along. Or even if you do have people who congratulate you, but you don't congratulate yourself, you'll never realize how great the accomplishments you've made are. So on your birthday, stop being such a jerk to yourself and sit down and think about all the awesome things you did that year. And they don't have to be things like going to Mars or making a rocket land perfectly or buying Twitter or winning the election, because are all those people who did that really amazing? Try to find the smallest things possible. Maybe you took care of yourself, you cleaned your house on a semi-regular basis, you wrote a story, you sang a song, you picked up a book. Any of those things, try to think of them and appreciate yourself. Next one. This is for people who want to document their lives, who are into art, who are into photography. You can try doing a photo shoot. So there are photo shoots people do that are like snapshots into everything that they are at the moment. Try to make a pictorial representation of it. Try to arrange all those items in a single photo frame, in a single composition, and take a picture. It gives you like a photograph version of a scrapbook of you. Try to do that. It might be fun, and you can keep doing it every year or every 5 years or every 10 years, and you're gonna look back with your other people and they're gonna be like, wow, that is so crazy, you're a genius. I never did that. I was just saying I went skydiving every year instead. Oh my god, so stupid. And you can do that, and you're gonna like the results. And if you don't, you can just blur everything out and make some trippy nightmare fuel something out of it. So, as we get close, the next one is something bigger than yourself. A birthday is when you're born, the world gets you. And I talked a lot about how your birthday should be a time to indulge in yourself, to be selfish with having fun. But if you're the kind who feels happy by helping others, who finds relief in helping others, makes you get away from your own troubles for a little bit, then you can try giving to others on your birthday. You can do something small like baking cookies for your coworkers. You can donate to charities of your liking. You can give food. We have friends, we might have neighbors, we might have, random people we know a little bit but not too much. You can meet them and be like, hi, it's my birthday. You can have this little sandwich. You can volunteer at a children's home. You can volunteer at a rehabilitation center. You can volunteer at a hospice. You can volunteer at an old age home. You can sign up to be a mentor for a child. You can sign up for virtual NGOs and help people virtually, meet people from different countries. You can do all of that. And if you look within your city, you will find a lot of very specific NGOs that I can't name, but those NGOs will be based on the needs of your city, needs of communities around you. For example, there was an NGO in one of the cities I lived where people would cook food and put them in takeout boxes, and the volunteer's duty would be to drive to an old person's house or a differently abled person's house, and you just go and deliver food at their doorstep. So volunteers would just grab a friend and they would drive around and deliver food to people. And you can do things like that. There was another NGO which was a house where people who have just recently been released from prison would stay, because once you really think about life and all its logistics, rent, finding a place to rent, getting a job, showing them you have enough money to rent a house, having a job and then making enough money to live in that city, and then showing your landlords you can pay your security deposit, all of those things, they don't happen instantly. And there was this NGO which was a place where people who have recently been released from prison could stay for a few months, and they would cook together, they would get a place to stay, they would get all their necessities like shampoo, conditioner. And of course, finally, try to indulge in yourself. Buy that perfume, buy that moisturizing lotion you wouldn't normally buy, get yourself a random video game, buy that Pokemon card, and enjoy your birthday. Bye. And happy birthday from me to whoever you are, to whenever you're watching it, to whenever your birthday comes. Happy birthday in advance, or happy birthday if it's your birthday today. Yeah.